Yunus? Yes.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the eligibility check of one consulting services and the repeat conference of a civil works project. And to start, may I introduce to you to the members of the BAC, headed by our BAC chairman, General Arturo Preposi, our BAC vice chairman, Attorney Mary Rose Kilo, and BAC members, Engineer Florilyn Fernandez, and Engineer Rachel Lomadi. For the technical working group, we have the members of the technical working group, Engineer Alan Tumana, Engineer Gerson Froilan Rimando, Engineer Jonah Lingayen, and Engineer Jenny De Guzman. For the Secretary of the City, Reniero Salinas, we have also here our IT support, Sir Von Kawe, and prospective bidders from Green Collar Consulting Services, Sir Kino Jamilano, and from Geographic Innovations for Development Solutions Incorporated, Sir Alvin Raniedo. And also joining us online is the representative from Langkam, Sir Jose Leido III. Good morning, sir. Sir, majority of the BAC members are present. There's a quorum, sir.
Thank you, Karinya. Good morning to everyone. As mentioned, there is a quorum. The pre-bid conference for 8 civil work and one eligibility check. Opening of one eligibility for consultancy is now for. Okay, DPWH is now open the bid box for the consultancy eligibility check.
To confirm the submitted bid, we have 3 consultants who submitted their eligibility. Well accounted, sir.
Let's now open the unsubmitted box.
result of the eligibility check for contract ID number 25CSA 060. We have 3 consultants submitted their eligibility. First is Geographic Innovations for Development Solutions Incorporated, GRITS. Passed the necessary requirements for this eligibility. So the overall rating eligible, therefore passed. Next, we have Vesta Consulting Company. Also passed the necessary documents for this eligibility. But the overall rating is eligible, therefore passed. That's the green. That's Polar Consulting Services. Also passed the necessary documents for this eligibility. So the overall rating eligible, therefore passed. So the result for the eligibility check for 25 CSE 060.
Yes, sir. Any our. Thank you. Let's proceed on our private conference, Secretary.
For the private conference, we have 8 civil works project. And to start with contract ID number 26A 00089, the basic infrastructure program, construction of bridge, Barangay Paratong, station 0+128 to station 0+146 at Lucia, Ilocos Sur. 26A 00095, widening permanent bridges, Tumana Bridge, B00736L3 along Pangasinan-Nueva Vizcaya Road. 26A 00102, sustainable infrastructure projects elevating gaps, SIPA, construction of multiple purpose building, equipment management office, DPWH Regional Office 1, Barangay Acao, Bawang, La Union, with the coordinates 16.52 and 120.34. 26A 00121, Construction of bypass and diversion roads, Lawag San Nicolas, Bypass Road, Poblacion Section, San Nicolas, Station 4 plus 237.62, to Station 5 plus 318.72, Ilocos Norte. 26A00124, Sustainable Infrastructure Projects, Alleviating Gaps, SIPAG, Construction of Road, Calmay Road, Station 0 plus 000 to Station 0 plus 995, Dagupan City, Pangasinan. 26A00128, Sustainable Infrastructure Projects, Alleviating Gaps, SIPAG, Rehabilitation of Access Road leading to Tondaligan Park, Station 2 plus 850 to Station 3 plus 060, Dagupan City, Pangasinan. 26A00141, Basic Infrastructure Program, concreting of 1.2 kilometer road at Barangay Casilian, Bacara, Ilocos Norte. Station 0 plus 000 to Station 1 plus 200. 26A00168, Basic Infrastructure Program, construction of multipurpose building at Barangay Poblacion, Palasiki, Pangasinan.
Pre-bid conference. The pre-bid conference shall be held at least 12 calendar days before the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids, but not earlier than 7 calendar days from the PhilJEP's posting of the invitation to bid or bidding documents. The pre-bid conference shall discuss, clarify, and explain, among other things, the eligibility requirements and the technical and financial components of the procurement project, including questions and clarifications raised by the prospective bidders before and during the pre-bid conference. Request for clarifications on any part of the bidding documents or for an interpretation must be in writing and submitted to the back of the procuring entity concerned at least 10 calendar days before the deadline set for the submission and receipt of bids. The back shall respond to the said request by issuing a bid bulletin, duly signed by the back chairperson, to be made available to all those who have properly secured the bidding documents at least 7 calendar days before the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids. For purpose of clarifying and modifying any provisions of the bidding documents, bid bulletins may be issued upon the procuring entity's initiative at least 7 calendar days before the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids. Any modification to the bidding documents shall be identified as an amendment. Any bid bulletin issued by the back shall also be posted in the PhilJEPs in any conspicuous place in the premises of the procuring entity and on the website or social platforms of the procuring entity if available, or such other channels as may be authorized by the GPPB. It shall be the responsibility of all those who have properly secured the bidding documents to inquire and secure bid bulletins that may be issued by the back. However, bidders who have submitted bids before the issuance of the bid bulletin must be informed and allowed to modify or withdraw their bids in accordance with the Section 55 of this IRR, Section 51.5.3 of IRR of Republic Act 12009.
For 26A00089, location Central Lucia, Ilocos Sur, with the EPC of 16,423,110 pesos. For the scope of work, so the construction of bridge foundation, precast concrete piles, construction of bridge deck, railing, deck slab, sidewalk, wing wall, drainage, removal of structure and obstruction, complete, construction of stone masonry, with a contract duration of 180 calendar days, and a warranty period of 15 years. 26A00095, location Rosales, Pangasinan, with the EPC of 23,600,000 70,255 pesos. For the scope of works, the removal of existing concrete railings, construction of abutment protection, construction of bridge deck, railing deck slab, sidewalk, wing wall, girder bearing, expansion joint, drainage, construction of slope protection, construction of PCCP, 0.3 meter thick, launching of girders, with the contract duration of 165 calendar days and a warranty period of 15 years. 26A00102, location Barangay Acao, Bawang La Union, with the EBC of 19,300,000. For the scope of work and installation of project billboard signboard, removal of structure and obstruction, earthworks, excavation, embankment, gravel field, concrete works, footing beam, column slab, steel works, plumbing works, fabrication of doors and windows, tile works, masonry and plastering works, painting works, ceiling works, electrical works, mechanical works, with the contract duration of 300 calendar days, and a warranty period of 15 years. 26A00121, location San Nicolas, Ilocos Norte, with the EBC of 169,658,580 pesos. For the scope of works, we have the construction of deck slab and intermediate diaphragm, installation of high dumping rubber bearing for expansion pier, installation of high dumping rubber bearing for fixed pier, with the contract duration of 330 calendar days and a warranty period of 15 years. 26A00124, location Dagupan City, Pangasinan, with the EBC of 54,108,515 pesos. For the scope of works of the earthworks, excavation and embankment, installation of steel sheet piles, C-type, construction of RC pile cap, construction of slope protection, stone masonry, construction of RC cross drain, 1.5 meter by 1.5 meter, subgrade preparation, spreading and compaction of aggregate sub-base course, construction of PCCP, 2 lanes, 280 millimeter thick, right side, 2.5 meter, left side, 1.5 meter. Construction of RC lateral canal, 1 meter by 1 meter. Application of pavement markings, white. Installation of solar street lights, 8-meter pole, 80 watts to 125 watts. With a contract duration of 213 calendar days and a warranty period of 5 years. 26A00128, location Dagupan City, Pangasinan, with the EBC of 37,757,555 pesos. For the scope of works, we have the earthworks, removal of actual structure, obstruction, roadway excavation, structure excavation, foundation field, subgrade preparation, aggregate sub-base course, construction PCCP, 230 millimeter thick, 2 lanes, with a width of 3.65 meter carriageway, construction of drainage structure, installation of sheet pile, C-type, construction slope protection, stone masonry, construction of groins, corsets, with a contract duration of 170 calendar days, and a warranty period of 5 years. 26A00141, location Bacara, Ilocos Norte, with the EBC of 17,820,000. For the scope of works of the earthworks, spreading and compaction of aggregate sub-base course, construction of PCCP, carriageway, 230 millimeter thick, 3.35 meter width, both side, construction slope protection structures, stone masonry, with a contract duration of 90 calendar days and a warranty period of 5 years. 26A00168, location Malasuki, Pangasinan, with the EDC of 19,800,000. For the scope of works, we have the installation of project billboard, signboard, earthworks, excavation, embankment, gravel field, concrete works, footing beam, column slab, steel works, plumbing works, fabrication of doors and windows, tile works, masonry, plastering works, painting works, ceiling works, electrical works, mechanical works, roofing works, with a contract duration of 330 calendar days and a warranty period of 15 years.
Eligibility requirements. Class A documents in case the bidder is not yet registered in DPWH. For legal documents, SEC, DTI or CDA, or also known as Cooperative Development Authority, Mayor's Permit, issued by the city or municipality where the principal place of business of the prospective bidder is located. In cases of recently expired mayor's or business permit, it shall be accepted together with the official receipt as proof that the bidder has applied for renewal within the period prescribed by the concerned local government unit, provided that the renewed permit shall be submitted as a post-qualification requirement. Tax clearance certificate as finally reviewed and approved by BIR. Technical documents. PCAB or Special PCAB license in case of joint venture. Records of completed contracts for both government and private. Records of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid, and shall be supported with notice of award and or contract, notice to proceed issued by the owner, and certificate of accomplishment signed by the owner or project engineer. Records of single largest completed contracts similar to the contract to be bid, except under conditions provided under the rules, and shall be supported with contract, CPES rating sheets, and or certificate of completion and certificate of acceptance. Adjusted to current price using Philippine Statistics Authority Current Price Index. Should have a contract amount equivalent to at least 50% of the ABC. A contract shall be considered similar to the contract to be bid if it has the same major categories of work. For financial documents, A. Audited financial statement stamp received by the BIR or its duly accredited and authorized institutions for the preceding calendar year, which should not be earlier than 2 years from the date of bid submission. B. Tax returns filed and taxes paid through the BIR electronic filing and payment system. C. Computation of NFCC of at least equal to ABC computed using the prescribed formula. NFCC is equal to the current assets minus current liabilities multiplied to 15 minus the value of unfinished projects, including awarded projects not yet started, coinciding with the contract to be bid. Per GPPB Resolution Number 18 Series of 2017, in lieu of the Class A eligibility documents which were uploaded and maintained current and updated in PhilJeps, bidders are required to submit their PhilJeps Certificate of Registration during bid submission in the case infrastructure projects pursuant to Section 20 of Republic Act 12009 and its IRR. Eligible bidders. For purposes of determining the eligibility of bidders using the criteria stated in Section 52.4 of Republic Act 12009, the prospective bidder shall submit its valid and updated PhilJeps Certificate of Registration pursuant to the requirements provided in Section 20 of Republic Act 12009. To ensure that the prospective bidder is technically and financially capable to undertake the procurement project, the BAC shall also require the submission of the following documents using the forms prescribed in the bidding documents. A. Statements of the bidder of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the procurement project. B. Statement of the bidder's SLCC similar to the procurement project except under conditions provided for in sections 52.4.1.3 and 52.4.2.4 of this IRR within the relevant period as provided in the bidding documents in the case of goods. In case the prospective bidder is a joint venture, the following documents shall be required. A. Valid Joint Venture Agreement or JVA in case the joint venture is already in existence. In the absence of a JVA, duly notarized statements from all the potential joint venture partners shall be included in the bid, stating that they will enter into and abide by the provisions of the JVA in the event that the bid is successful. Failure to enter into a joint venture in the event of a contract award shall be a ground for the forfeiture of the bid security. B. JV bidders shall submit a JVA in accordance with Republic Act Number 4566 or the Contractor's License Law and its IRR. Each partner of the joint venture shall submit the respective PhilJEP certificate of registration in accordance with the section 20.2.9.1 of this IRR. The submission of technical and financial eligibility documents by any of the joint venture partners constitutes compliance, provided that the partner responsible to submit NFCC shall likewise submit the statement of all of its ongoing contracts. The following persons or entities shall be allowed to participate in the bidding for infrastructure projects. A. Duly licensed Filipino citizens or sole proprietorships. B. Partnerships duly organized under the laws of the Philippines and of which at least 60% of the interest belongs to the citizens of the Philippines. C. Corporations duly organized under the laws of the Philippines and of which at least 60% of outstanding capital stock belongs to citizens of the Philippines. D. Cooperatives duly organized under the laws of the Philippines. Or E. Persons or entities forming themselves into a joint venture, for example, a group of 2 or more persons or entities that intend to be jointly and severally responsible or liable for a particular contract. Provided, however, that in accordance with Executive Order Number 65, Series of 2018, Filipino ownership or interest of the joint venture concerned shall be at least 60%. Provided further that joint ventures in which Filipino ownership or interest is less than 60% may be eligible where the structures to be built require the application of techniques or technologies which are not adequately possessed by a person or entity meeting the 60% Filipino ownership requirement. Provided further that in the latter case, Filipino ownership or interest shall not be less than 25%. For this purpose, Filipino ownership or interest shall be based on the contributions of each of the member of the joint venture as specified in their JVA. Provided, finally, that the primary purpose of each member of the joint venture must be similar or related to the requirement of the project to be bid out. In accordance with Republic Act Number 4566 or the Contractor's License Law as amended by Republic Act Number 11711 or an act further amending Republic Act Number 4566, the persons or entities enumerated in Section 52 of Republic Act 12009 may participate in the procurement or infrastructure projects if it has been issued a license by the PCAB to engage or act as a contractor. The bidder must have completed an SLCC that is similar to the procurement project to be bid, and whose value adjusted to current prices using the PSA consumer price indices must be at least 50% of the ABC to be bid, provided that any change to the 50% requirement may be allowed, subject to the recommendation of the procuring entity, which shall be submitted to the GPPB for consideration. Provided further that contractors under small a and small b categories without similar experience in the procurement project to be bid may be allowed to bid if the cost of such contract is not more than the allowable range of contract cost of the registration, based on the guidelines as prescribed by the PCAB. Moreover, a contract shall be considered similar to the procurement project if it has the same major categories of work. The procuring entity may clarify in the bidding documents what is regarded as major categories of work, guided by the principle of proportionality and fit-for-purpose approach. 52.4.2.5, the SLCC shall be supported by an owner's certificate of final acceptance issued by the project owner other than the contractor, or a final rating of at least satisfactory in the CPES or a similar performance and monitoring system. In the case of contracts with the private sector, an equivalent document shall be submitted. 52.4.2.6, the computation of a bidder's NFCC must be at least equal to the ABC to be bid, calculated as follows. NFCC is equal to current assets minus current liabilities times 15, minus the value of all outstanding or uncompleted portions of the project under ongoing contracts, including awarded contracts yet to be started, coinciding with the procurement project to be bid, provided that a different formula may be adopted subject to the recommendation of the procuring entity, which shall be submitted to the GPPB for consideration. The value of the domestic bidder's current assets and current liabilities shall be based on the latest AFS submitted to the BIR. Submission and receipt of bids. The first bid envelope shall contain the following technical documents. Number 1. Field job certificate of registration in accordance with Section 20 of Republic Act 12009. Number 2. Statement of the prospective bidder of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid. Number 3. Statement of the bidder's single largest completed contract similar to the contract to be bid, except under conditions provided under the rules. Number 4. Special PCAB license in case of joint ventures. Number 5. Original copy of bid security. If in the form of a surety bond, submit also a certification issued by the Insurance Commission, or original copy of notarized bid securing declaration. Number 6. Project requirements which shall include the following: A. Organizational chart for the contract to be bid. B. List of contractors' key personnel. Example: project manager, project engineers, material engineers, and foremen, to be assigned to the contract to be bid with their complete qualification and experience data. C. List of contractors' major equipment units which are owned, leased, and/or under purchase agreements, supported by proof of ownership or certification of availability of equipment from the equipment lessor or vendor for the duration of the project as the case may be. 7. Original duly signed omnibus sworn statement in accordance with Section 54.3 of this IRR. Number 8. ISO 9001:2015 certification requirement for large and medium contractors for project above 30 million. Number 9. Latest General Information Sheet reflecting the beneficial ownership information duly received by the Securities and Exchange Commission for corporations. Number 10. The prospective bidder's computation of net financial contracting capacity. And number 11, if applicable, duly signed joint venture agreement in accordance with Republic Act No. 4566 and its IRR. The second bid envelope shall contain the financial documents. 1. Original or duly signed and accomplished financial bid form. 2. Original or duly signed bid prices in the bill of quantities. 3. Duly accomplished detailed estimate form including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of construction materials, labor rates, and equipment rentals used in coming up the bid. And number 4, cash flow by quarter. Form of bid security. Bid validity period 120 CD from the date of submission of bids. Bid security validity period 120 CD from the date of submission of bids. Form of bid security. A. Cash or cashier's or manager's check issued by a bank. For biddings conducted by LGUs, the cashier's or manager's check may be issued by other 2% banks certified by the BSP as authorized to issue such financial instrument. Amount of bid security 2%. B. Bank draft or guarantee or irrevocable letter of credit issued by a bank, provided, however, that it shall be confirmed or authenticated by a bank if issued by a foreign bank. For biddings conducted by LGUs, bank draft or guarantee or irrevocable letter of credit may be issued by other banks certified 5% by the BSP as authorized to issue financial instrument. Amount of bid security 5%. C. Surety bond callable upon demand issued by a surety or insurance company certified duly 5% by Insurance Commission as authorized to issue such security. Amount of bid security 5%. D. Bid securing declaration. Amount of bid security not applicable.
Zero 89 and 95, the major category of work is BCCCP, with the similar category of work BRTCCP. 26A 00102 and 168. The major category of work is PICWOP LC with the following similar category of work. 26A00121. The major category of work is DCCDP, with the similar category of work, DRTCDP. And for 26A00124 and 141, the major category of work is RCP, and the similar category of work is RRP and RCPP. 26A00128, the major category of work is RCSBS, with the following similar category of work: FCSBS, FCBPS, and FCSP.
Bid evaluation. The ABC shall be the upper limit or ceiling for acceptable bid prices. If a bid price as evaluated and calculated in accordance with this IRR is higher than the ABC, the bidder submitting the same shall be automatically disqualified. There shall be no lower limit or floor on the amount of the award. Members of the BAC, its staff and personnel, Secretariat, and DWG, as well as observers, are prohibited from making or accepting any communication with any bidder regarding the evaluation of their bids until the issuance of the notice of award. However, the BAC through its secretariat may ask the bidder in writing for a clarification of its bid. All responses to request for clarification shall be in writing. The BAC shall evaluate the financial component of the bids to determine the lowest calculated bid using the following steps. Number 1. The BAC shall immediately conduct a detailed evaluation of all bids using non-discretionary criteria to consider the following. A. Completeness of the bid. Unless the instructions to bidders specifically allow partial bids, bids not addressing or providing all of the required items in the bidding documents, including, where applicable, bill of quantities, shall be considered non-responsive and thus automatically disqualified. However, when no price or a zero or a dash is indicated in a required item in the bid form, the same shall be construed that is being offered for free to the government, except those required by law or regulations to be provided for. And letter B, arithmetical corrections. The BAC shall consider computational errors and omissions to enable proper comparison of all eligible bids. It may also consider bid modifications if expressly allowed in the bidding documents. Any adjustment shall be calculated in monetary terms to determine the calculated prices. 2. The BAC shall evaluate all bids on an equal footing to ensure fair and competitive bid comparison. For this purpose, all bidders shall be required to include the cost of all taxes, such as but not limited to value-added tax, income tax, local taxes, or other fiscal levies and duties, if applicable, which shall be itemized in the bid form and reflected in the detailed estimates. Such bids, including said taxes, shall be the basis for the bid, evaluation, and comparison. Number 3. In case of discrepancies between bid prices in figures and in words, the latter shall prevail. Total price per item and unit price for the item as extended for multiplied by the quantity of that item, the latter shall prevail. Stated total price and the actual sum of prices of component items, the latter shall prevail. Unit cost in the detailed estimate and unit cost of the bill of quantities, the latter shall prevail. And amount in price, schedule, and in the bid form, the latter shall prevail. Number 4. Bids shall then be ranked in ascending order of their total calculated bid prices, as evaluated and corrected for computational errors and other bid modifications to identify the LCB. Total calculated bid prices as evaluated and corrected for computational errors and other bid modifications which exceed the ABC shall be disqualified. Number 5. The entire evaluation process for the procurement of goods and infrastructure projects using LCB as criteria shall be completed within 7 calendar days from the deadline for receipt of proposals. Post-qualification. Number 1. The bidder with the LCB shall undergo post-qualification to determine whether the bidder concerned complies with and is responsive to all requirements and conditions as specified in the bidding documents. Number 2. Within 5 calendar days from receipt by the bidder of the notice from the bank that the bidder has the LCB, the bidder shall submit all the eligibility documents supporting its field job certificate of registration, its latest income and business tax returns filed for the preceding quarter, which should not be earlier than 2 quarters from the date of submission and receipt of bids, and other appropriate licenses and permits required by law and stated in the bidding documents. Failure to submit any of post-qualification requirements on time or a finding against the veracity thereof shall disqualify the bidder for award, provided that in the event that a finding against the veracity of any of the documents submitted is made, it shall be caused the forfeiture of the bid security in accordance with Article 21 of the Act and this IRR. 63.3. During post-qualification, the bank shall verify and validate the veracity, authenticity, and validity of all the eligibility documents supported the field job certificate of registration and all the other statements made and documents submitted by the bidder with the LCB using non-discretionary criteria as stated in bidding documents. This criteria shall consider, but shall not be limited to the following. A. Legal requirements. To verify, validate, and ascertain licenses, certificates, permits, and agreements submitted by the bidder, and the fact that it is not included in any blacklist as provided in Section 54 of this IRR. For this purpose, the GPPB shall maintain a portal which contains the consolidated file of all blacklisted contractors. B. Technical requirements. To verify and validate the bidder's stated compliance with the requirements specified in the bidding documents. C. Financial requirements. To verify and validate the bid price proposal of the bidder and whenever applicable, the required committed line of credit in the amount specified in over the period stipulated in the bidding documents or the bidder's NFCC to ensure that the bidder can sustain the opening cash flow of the transaction. 63.4. If the bank determines that the bidder with the LCB passes all the criteria for post-qualification, it shall declare the said bid as the LCRB or HRRB. 63.8. The post-qualification process shall be completed in not more than 12 calendar days from the determination of the LCB. In exceptional cases, the post-qualification period may be extended by the hope, but in no case shall the aggregate period exceed 45 calendar days. Contract award. The bank shall recommend to the hope the award of contract to the bidder with the LCRB as the case may be after the post-qualification process has been completed. within a period not exceeding 10 calendar days from the determination and declaration through a resolution by the back of the LCRB as the case may be, and the recommendation of the award, the hope or its duly authorized representative shall approve or disapprove the said recommendation. In case of approval, the Hope or its duly authorized representative shall immediately issue the notice of award to the bidder with the LCRB. In the event that the approving authority shall disapprove the resolution on the award of contract, such disapproval shall be based only on valid, reasonable, and justifiable grounds as enumerated under Section 70 to be expressed in writing. A copy of the decision disapproving the resolution shall be furnished to the back and the bidder. 66.4 When applicable, the back shall conduct a post-qualification of the bidder with the next LCB as provided in Section 63.7 of this IRR. A request for reconsideration may be filed by the bidder with the Hope within 3 calendar days from the receipt of the notice of disapproval or the explanation for the inaction. The Hope shall resolve with finality the request for reconsideration within 7 calendar days from the filing thereof and furnish the bidder a copy of the resolution immediately from its promulgation. In no case shall the request for reconsideration stay or delay the bidding process. However, the request for reconsideration must first be resolved before any award is made. Within 10 calendar days from receipt by the winning bidder of the notice of award, the following conditions should be complied before the contract may be awarded. A. Notice of award with the bidder's signed confirm. B. Performance security in any of the forms specified in the instructions to bidders. C. Construction methods. D. Construction schedule in the form of precedence diagram, bar chart with S-curve, and cash flow. E. Manpower schedule. F. Equipment utilization schedule. G. Construction safety and health program. H. Contractor's all-risk insurance. I. Certification under oath stating that the contractor is free and clean of all tax liabilities. Common reasons for rejection of bids and eligibility and post-disqualification of bidder. Failure to submit original copy of the surety bond certified by the Insurance Commission indicating the name of project, the procuring entity, and name of contractor. Shorter bid validity and bid security validity period. Failure to declare all its ongoing government and private contracts awarded but not yet started. Overlapping of pledged equipment and committed key technical personnel. Failure to indicate the validity of bid in the bid form. Late submission of bid. Failure to submit supporting document, example, proof of ownership, certification of availability of equipment from the equipment lessor or vendor for the duration of the project if equipment pledge is to leased or purchased. Negative slippage in the ongoing project, negative 15% or more, or negative 10% in each of 2 or more ongoing projects. Unsatisfactory CPES rating. Not using the standard forms attached in the Philippine bidding documents. false or misleading declarations in eligibility documents. Purchase of bidding documents. The bidders or contractors shall provide any of the following documents before purchasing bidding documents. 1. Company ID or any government-issued ID. 2. Authorization letter. If not an authorized liaison officer in the CWA, special power of attorney for sole proprietorship, or board or partnership or joint venture resolution with secretary's certificate for corporation or partnership or joint venture or cooperative. 3. Letter of intent for foreign funded projects. Common errors in the submission of bids. Authority of the signatory to sign on behalf of the bidder. First, single proprietor. Signatory should be the owner or proprietor only. Second, corporation or cooperative. Board secretary's certificate and board resolution. Third, joint venture. Joint venture resolution or agreement. Fourth, partnership, as indicated in the articles of partnership. Department Orders and Memorandum. Department Order Number 9, Series of 2012. Technical requirements for civil works projects for public bidding. Department Order Number 58, Series of 2012. Inclusion of material data on the pledged equipment of a bidder in his bid documents. Department Order Number 11, Series of 2017. Inclusion of the minimum materials testing equipment in the technical component of the bid. Department Order Number 110, Series of 2024. Implementation of 9001-2015 of ISO certification requirement for large A, medium B, and medium A contractors in the procurement of infrastructure projects of the department. Department Order Number 169, Series of 2025, Guidelines on the Accreditation and Assignment of Contractors and Consultants Project Engineers. Memorandum 097.7-111-925, Directive to require submission of General Information Sheet reflecting beneficial ownership information and sworn affidavit of eligibility and beneficial ownership as part of the bidding documents.
We have also the memo dated May 28, 2026, which mandates the strict disclosure of all ongoing awarded and unstarted government-private contracts in all bidding documents for infrastructure projects. So for these contract ID numbers, 26A 0008995-102, 121, 124, 26A 00128, 141, and 26A 00168. The deadline for submission of clarification is 10 days before the submission of bids. The deadline for submission of bids is on July 29, 2026, 10 o'clock a.m. Number of copies of the proposal, 2 original copies of the first and second components of its bid, and the place of submission of bids and Awards Committee, second floor, conference room, DPWH Regional Office 1, City of San Fernando, Avenue. That ends the presentation of the pre-bid conference for the 8 Civil Works project.
Thank you, Sir Ingat. Any comment, Sir Jose? I received that.
Mr. Chair, good morning. Everything is in order. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you again, Sir, for attending our activities today.
Always a privilege, Mr. Chair.
The pre-bid conference for 8 civil works and opening of the eligibility check for one consultancy is now adjourned. Thank you and good morning.